It's Project Cargo Professionals. We're in Kuala Lumpur for the Heavy Lift Group conference, and I'm with Emre, long-standing member, an ex-com member of the Heavy Lift Group, if I remember correctly.
Yes, correct. We have been members as Kıta Logistics since 2003. We were young, very young then. Still young.
Still
at
young.
heart.
At least you feel it.
Exactly. So yeah, it's been quite a long time that we're with the Heavy Lift Group, and it's great to be together with the champions of the Project Cargo business. So we are developing business. We've had at least 4 or 5 projects that we have done with 2 other members. So it's a 3-member project. So from that point of view, I'm very happy to be a part of this group.
Absolutely. Emre, fill us in on what's going on in Turkey. From what I read recently, I know you've had a lot of inflation, currency devaluation. What's the Project Cargo market like in Turkey, and what effect has that been having?
Good point. Turkish lira is very strong. This means US dollars and euros, it's very weak. So when you come to Turkey, you're going to experience that it's not very cheap anymore.
I saw, even to go on holiday to Turkey, the Turkish holidays are now more expensive.
Now, this year is going to be difficult for the tourism industry, but that not only affects the tourism industry, but also the exports. Because our expenditures are in Turkish liras, which is very strong, and keeps labor costs very high. But the income is going to be in terms of US dollars or euros, especially if you're exporting to the United States or Europe or European Union. That puts our exporters in a difficult situation. This in turn means for Project Cargo that there's going to be less factories being built, especially for export purposes. That actually has a negative impact on the incoming Project Cargo. It's slowed down in the last couple of years, but I don't think this is going to last forever. I'm expecting by mid-2026 the exchange rates will stabilize. So after that, I'm expecting more. But we are still a huge exporter in terms of transformers, machinery, for example, CNC machines, transformers. 4 or 5 largest transformer manufacturers are in Turkey. There's a lot going out as exports of heavy cargo. What I see nowadays is solar power.
Okay.
This is becoming a big thing in Turkey. There's a lot of solar power panels, a lot of solar power related cargo coming into Turkey, especially from the Far East. I see that.
Which are not super heavy, but they do need special handling.
I would still consider them as projects, because if you're moving, let's say, 500 containers in, let's say, several lots, that's still considered as a project as far as I'm concerned. That doesn't necessarily have to be huge, but would require significant coordination. So.
Mm-hmm. And there is also a lot of investment going on in infrastructure, isn't it? So that must be driving Project Cargo too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Nowadays, the municipalities are still pushing for subway systems, metro systems, railway cars, tramways are moving in. Airport infrastructure has been finished now, has been completed. We have some significant airports now. We have the largest airport in Europe by far. So that kind of infrastructure development has been completed, but public transportation is still going on. We still have the deficit for power, and there will always be need for additional power supplies, whether it's going to be solar or wind, for example. But I would expect that to continue in the coming years for sure.
And tell us a bit about your expansion outside Turkey.
Yeah, we have offices in 4 other countries. We have focused on the CIS. We have a large operation in Kazakhstan, and our Kazakhstan office is handling quite a bit of railway infrastructure projects. We are moving locomotives from GE from the US, for example, currently as we speak. We are moving electrification projects for the railroads in Kazakhstan. That's also a fairly large operation. We are moving axles for railroad cars. We have another office in Uzbekistan. I see huge potential there because of the population, because of the hinterland. I think that there's going to be major development in terms of project cargo in Uzbekistan. And we have recently opened our office in Georgia. So now we are handling our own transit cargoes going into the CIS via POTI with our own people. And I see there's more and more business going via POTI into the CIS. So I see their economic development in the CIS coming up.
What's the competition like in those markets?
It's tough. It's tough as always, but I come from Turkey. I come from a market where
You're
the
also
competition
tough.
is tough. Yeah, we're trying to be. But the good thing is that we speak the same language. We speak, in Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, they speak different dialects of Turkish.
Right.
So that does create an advantage, not only culturally, but also from a linguistic point of view. So that's great. We feel at home when we are working in those countries.
Yeah.
Georgia is different.
Okay.
For sure. But it's a transit country for us, and it's a great gateway between the East and the West. So we're moving quite a bit of cargo from Europe into the CIS via POTI right now, also by trucks.
And you mentioned to me earlier about Syria, which we haven't spoken about yet on the podcast, which could be another source of work for Project Cargo. Tell us a bit about that.
Absolutely. As our Project Cargo team in Turkey has very close relationships with international contracting companies, Turkish international contracting companies, which are really competitive. They have been involved in hundreds of projects in Africa, in the Middle East, in the former Soviet Union countries, let me put it that way, specifically Russia being the main market. And I see a great potential for Syria because it's right next door. Yep. From a logistics point of view, as you know, Syria is in desperate need for any type of infrastructure development. Once it's been financed, once the finances are taken care of, I think that the international contracting companies, the Turks, are also going to be very active in Syria with all kinds of projects. It could be transportation, it could be power, it could be anything, because the whole country needs development in many different aspects of project cargo, I would say.
Has the rebuilding started yet to any great extent?
Not really. The government just was established recently. The good thing is that the country opened up. For example, the Turkish trucks are now moving from Turkey via Syria into the Middle East, which was not possible until, let's say, 4 or 5 months ago. So we see progress there.
So Syria is one to watch.
I hope so. Yeah, I think so. I'm watching very closely. Yes, for sure.
And just to finish, give us your outlook for 2026. Maybe something you're excited about, and maybe something you're concerned about as it relates to Project Cargo.
Well, in terms of there's a lot of political turmoil, as you know, in the world. And 2026, what it is going to bring in terms of Project Cargo? Very difficult to say. But a peace between Ukraine and Russia would help big time. That would open up additional markets for us, because right now we're not really doing any project in Russia. Yeah. I would hope that Iran would become a part of, would integrate with the rest of the world, and that would create, in fact, much cheaper, much faster corridors for us between the East and the West. For example, if we're moving cargo from Turkey to the CIS, let's say Kazakhstan, we are avoiding Iran completely. We're not using the Iranian routes. Yeah. If it's a part of the whole world economy and the bans are not there anymore, then I see a significant improvement for cargo movements. Imagine cargo coming from all over the world into, let's say, Mersin port, and then from Mersin in transit going into the CIS, going through Iran. That is going to be very fast. So I'm hoping some of these hurdles like those would be taken care of by 2026. I see power is always going to be on our agenda, power supply. So there's going to be new power plants being built. Power storage is going to be another issue which the countries will need to deal with. So I think infrastructure development and power production are going to be on the top 2 lines on our agenda next year.
Well, thanks very much for your time, Emre. Good to see you.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.